I want to know, did you ever see the rain coming down on a sunny old day? Do, 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 do. Right, I think we're live. Let's build the cab for the Soldano. Now, as you can see, I purposely had my chassis slanted. Now, what would be interesting is finding this slant in millimeters. So I'll go over now and just get a little check on that. I would say it's 3 centimeter. Now I will be working in centimeters and millimeters. Why? I do not know, to be honest. Actually, I do know. It'll be easier if I work in millimeters to be more accurate than inches. So that was 3 centimeters. That's going to be quite important. That bent, that slant there. Now, last night, I started doing this last night. Cab build! Do it! Now, one thing's for sure. If that Igor turns up, I will hit him with this ruler. Because I am sick of his incompetence. His clumsiness. His buffoonery. Igor, stay in that cellar. I will not having you disturb my live stream. Because Mr. Riley Steen, I'm focused on building this cabinet. I will not allow anybody to get in my way. Do you hear, Igor? Stay in your cellar. He had me up all night playing that stupid violin. Awkward, ineffectant, Igor. Inept. Do you hear me? You stay down there in your cellar. I will not have you pop up today. Unskilled. Ineffectant. Sick of you, Igor, popping up. This is very important. Your foolishness and clumsiness will not be tolerated today. Von Riley Steen will be designing this cab. Now, last night, as you can see, we started out. Fingernail. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that for fingernails. Never done a hard day's work in my life. This was the idea, wasn't it? This was the vision. Starts out with a vision. There's the chassis control knobs. Now it's a 2 12-inch speakers. This is what I thought. With a slight slant on the top speaker and the bottom speaker. Just as you can see, you know. Now the problem with these type of cabinets, these vertical ones, is they're very tall and the top heavy. So if a child was to come along, I'm not sure how. We do know how tall it is because we worked it out last night. 76 centimeters. What's that in inches? Don't ask me. Don't fucking ask me that. Don't ask me what. I'll tell you what 76 centimeters is in inches right now. Roughly 30 inches tall. When you think of it, it's actually not that long. 30 inches. 30 inches is usually the height of a table. So any table you have in your house, go and look at it now. And that's how tall the cabinet will be. So it's going to be 30 inch high. I worked this out last night, but it started off with just this drawing. Then I had to think, well, we need ideas. ideas, inspiration we need. I need to know how big and tall cabinets are. So this is, I looked how big a Marshall cabinet was, but this is a forum where a guy, I think that's, oh, is he took the dimension? It looks to me like he took the dimensions off a PV cabinet. It's vertical. And as you can see, he's now 10 inches deep. That's not too, that seems very slim to me. So I typed in how deep is an Alnico speaker, and the 6.5 inches depth. So when you put that, if you think of a 10-inch wide, so I'm thinking 10 inches wide at the top. This profile here will be 10-inch. But obviously, the bottom profile with this slant is going to be a little bit wider. But then the question bears, what's the difference in this slant? Now, we just took a measurement there. That was 3 centimeters on the slant of the chassis. So it's almost going to look something like that. 3 centimeters is very steep, but that one won't be as steep, and then it'll fall down like that. So you're looking at something like, it's going to be that type of shape, you know what I mean? It could even be steeper than that. That could be there with the control knobs. There's your 3 centimeter. This will then slant slightly. Now I don't know how much slant I want. Don't know how much slant we actually want here. See the slant? Well, we can work it out, can't we? If we say the top's 10. Here's Lax. Good morning. Well, last night I started with this, an idea, because all the best inventions or whatever, they start off on the back of a piece of paper, scribbled down. So this is the chassis, and this is going to be a vertical cabinet. That's crazy, isn't it? Vertical, usually horizontal. Now, the first thing I thought actually was, am I doing this correct? Because if you think about the sound pushing out of a vertical cab, it's the sound's coming at you. Yeah, just working away through this. I've done this last night. I've actually got to a point where I'll move on in a minute to this. This morning, I'm waiting for the delivery. So I thought I'll just do a quick live stream and we'll do the side profile. So this is the front. This is where I got to last night. I enjoyed it actually. You know, drawing it out. Because I need everything to scale. This is to scale to millimeters. Every millimeter is 1 centimeter. Just to get, because I'm gonna have to cut wood. I've got the wood. I've got all pine here. 1.5 centimeter pine. So that's like 3. No, what was it? It was 3/4 inch. Not 3/4. 1/4 inch pine it is. But I'll move on to that in a minute. The wood. But that's where I got to last night. That's the front. But I'm just saying, I've only just started the stream. Last night, this was the idea, the first idea in my head. Very rough. Now, the thing I was thinking was when the sound pushes out of a vertical cab, it's sort of coming at you straight. Now, is that the reason people use horizontal cabs? Because the sound comes out more of a stereo, doesn't it? With a horizontal, you're getting more of a span. With a vertical, So I don't know what, I haven't really Googled and, listened to what people's opinions are. I'm just adamant on going vertical because I have a cabinet, a little 1x12. I've got 2 heads. I don't really want to be I don't really want to be building another head for this Soldano, but a head actually would be the best thing for this, because this amplifier is one of them amplifiers that you will want to carry around to gigs, rehearsals. So this should actually be in a head cabinet, but I'm going to make it into a furniture piece. You just basically push it into the corner of the room. It's there. You plug in. But realistically, this should be in a head shell. But on this occasion, I've got so many head shells. I've got a 1x12. Let's change, just for the change, let's put it into a vertical. Now, the problem with a vertical cabinet, well, I've worked out the height. This was done last night. I'll try and, as we do the sideway view, it shouldn't take too long. I just thought I'd go over just how I went about this. The problem you have with a vertical cab, 30 inches, picture 30-inch height. Now 30 inches usually is the height of a table. So if you looked in your living room or where you have your dinner off a table, tables are usually 30 inches high. Desks, tables. So if you was just to take a look at your table now, that's how high this would be. 30 inches. What's the problem with that? Well, all your weight is in the top here. And this speaker here has a lot of weight. So it's top heavy. If a child was to just nudge the top of that, the whole thing would go boing, flat. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have to put some sort of steel plate weight at the bottom, just to keep the weight, because really I want to put this on casters. Now if this is on casters, that'll fall over really easy, so we might have to not put it on casters and put it on little feet, but I'm not sure yet. That's further down the line. So there was the first preliminary idea I was shooting for. Adamant on it. Really thought, yeah, I'm going to do this. So what do you do next? Well, like we all do, we go on the internet. We start poking around. So let me show you what I've started to find. Now there's one guy here on this forum. He put some nice dimensions in it. Now 20 inches, what is that in centimeters? I think it's 50 odd, isn't it? 50, 51, yeah. Need to scroll, because here he's discussing building, lo and behold, a vertical cabinet. Now the first thing that came to me here was, what the fuck is this? So what he's doing is he's segregating the top speaker from the bottom speaker. Now I didn't think of that at all. Kind of crazy, because if you think about it, the top speaker now has this air pocket. The bottom speaker has its own air pocket. And I thought straight away, that's great. Because now the bass, because I was going to put an Alnico Blue, that, for the shiny treble. And at the bottom, we could use some of a speaker, a darker sounding speaker for the bass. So the bass is kicking out the bottom. The top that's angled is kicking out the highs. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, I thought, oh yeah, I'm doing that. So it's just finding inspiration really when you do this sort of stuff. And then you can see here he's going, and now he's put the handles in. Now, do I want handles? I don't know yet. Fill it with sand. Yeah, I thought about that actually. I did think of that because that'll be a lot cheaper. See the bottom? Well, I'll move on to that in a minute because you've just read me mind. Yeah, you read me mind there with sand. Actually, I might actually fill it with sand. Yeah. What did I notice about this guy? So, what I thought is when you get the angle here, see there's a cut off there. Now getting this baffle board on here, it's going to be tricky. So my brain was thinking, how the fuck are we going to do that? Now it's coming together here, you can see. Now he's put the baffle on here. Now you can see he hasn't got an air pocket. He hasn't got a gap. So he's managed to get this wood perfectly flush to segregate the two total speakers and the back. So it's going to be a very tricky bit of woodworking there. As we keep scrolling down, now he's put it. Now this is interesting. What I noticed about this is the thickness of his baffle. Because remember, his grill cloth is going to go on top of this. And I thought to myself, he's gone way too thick there. See, I only need to go about there. See, he's gone way too thick. Now, because he's gone so thick, have you noticed? He's cut off the top of the speaker there. Why doesn't he get a little... Why doesn't he just chip that out there, man, and just continue that roundness there? And you see down here, he's cut off the bottom of the speaker here. And there. So he's made a slight error. Now that's interesting because straight away I thought, how are you going to do the middle section? Now he's done his baffle there. Now this is another cabinet he done. But you can see what he's done here. He's totally blocked the bottom speaker off. So that's going to resonate like a bass drum. Top speaker. Now I don't like the idea of all this, what he's done here, but you know, we're just gathering ideas, keeping our imagination flowing. See this bit? This is the bit that's really tricky because as you get that sort of mitre angle, yeah, but we'll come across that at a later date. But it's in the back of my mind all the time, that. And I think he's gone too thick on his wood and too deep. Is there really a need to go that deep? Now there is remember, you do have to pull and tug on the grill cloth really to get it tight. So maybe that's freaking me out. What do you reckon that is? About 1.5 to 2 centimeter, 1/4 inch. And yeah, look at the way he's got this in here. He's just trying to get my imagination flowing. What we're going to do with this thing, you know. So I think if we keep that one to the top where the dimensions are, because I need these dimensions. This is where I'm at now with these dimensions. See, 10 inches, and then he's gone 12.75. So the bottom is 31 centimeters. Now, do I want to go 31? See, that seems very slim. Now check this out for weirdness. So what you do next, obviously you go in there, don't you? You start typing in. You start looking for examples. And lo and behold, Hiwatt done a vertical but they didn't have the slant. But you can imagine, look how thin it fit. If you were to touch the top of that, the whole thing would flop over. What do you mean it affects the sound? it it doesn't, or does. I think he said doesn't affect the sound. I think he meant doesn't. But you can see the high watt here. It's so slim. That's got to be what, 10 inches. It seems too slim, that, for me. I'm going to click through and have a few looks at it. See what, and high watts have gone for the whole total open back. But again, just ideas. Oh, didn't want to do that. Now, see the way Noel Gallagher's leaning on this on this amplifier. I doubt this amplifier is that. So I think it's taller than that. There's no way that amplifier comes up to your fucking the bottom of your there. It comes up to about there on a human being. I think they've fucking what they've done there. If they've photoshopped that, because ideally I'd like to get it. Now I see. So here's a Marshall. It's 4x12. Now we can get the dimensions here now. It's basically a Marshall. It basically what Hiwatt have done is that it's the dimensions of a Marshall 4x12, but with a little added bit what they stick the chassis in. I've only just noticed that actually. That's going to come in handy for me measurements, because I need to get my measurements down. So next, what did they do next? Oh, I just came in here and started to have a little look. Trying to get some ideas. Actually, it wasn't. Oh, excuse me. Just getting ideas and that. There's something in here that piqued my interest. What was it? Just trying to get my imagination. Visualizing. It all starts with a vision. I think it was that. You know, just decorative bits and stuff, you know, stuff like this. Just piquing my interest. Inspiring. Then check what happened out next. Check this out next. Bang! Oh shit! Soldano have already done it. Soldano on an Astroverb done a vertical 2x12. What are the odds of that? That was a shell shocker when I came across that. I thought it was going to be the first. Fucking Soldano have already done it. Fuck. But listen, at least I know I'm on the right avenue. If Soldano thought, yeah, we'll put it in a vertical 212, then I'm not as crazy as I sound, am I? And here's the Soldano here. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Even with a flat. Now, as you know, I'm going with quite a slant. Remember, I have a slanted chassis as well. So if you can picture my chassis just having a slight slant and then having a more of a slant here and a flatter there, mine's going to actually look quite falling and more. See, with mine, with the slanted chassis, it's more, you can really get into it, you know, go in and turn the knobs, you know, like a Fender. Fender have that slanted chassis. That was my first idea when I started to build that Soldano, was to put it in like a Fender type. Well, obviously it's all And then this guy, he's doing pine. Well, I'm doing pine myself. You can see he's got a 4x12, 4x12, a 2x12 slanted. And his prices are really good, but he's American, this guy. Man, you'd pay $200 for that all day, wouldn't you? I don't know whether this website's obsolete, no. But you can see inside there, he has also segregated the two speakers. Now, what's very interesting here, this is it. Look, he's blocked off the bottom segregation and made a nice little hole at the top there for my Alnico Blue. Fantastic. So I'm on the right way here, but check this. See this gap? To me, I think you need more of a gap there, you know. Because remember, that piece of wood that's segregating the two pieces, the two speakers, there's wood in there, isn't there, remember? This piece of wood. So I think this slight gap here, this needs to be just a little bit wider. But this guy's a professional cab builder. Because I want that speaker to resonate on the baffle board. Now, if it's really tight at the bottom there, the baffle board isn't really going to resonate, is it? Because it's so tight and it's going to be locked in. The baffle's locked in there right across the bottom. So in this drawing here, you can see I've gone through the middle. This was I'm gonna have to alter this. What I'm gonna do is, see, this is my piece of wood through the middle here. And you can see the speakers are almost touching that wood. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna, now the reason I came down off the top here is, remember, my transformers fall down 10 centimeters. So this has to come down slightly. So with this, I've brought this down 5 centimeters. Then we have our speaker. I've given myself 2 centimeters, another 2 centimeters for that wood, and then another 2 centimeters. I think really, yeah, I want this baffle to have more flex. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to make this free. See, from that point there, damn, you guys can't even see that cursor, can you? Dope. What a dope. Right, what I'm saying is, this is 5 centimeters off that chassis. Why is that? Because my transformers fall down 10 centimeters. And I've got the tubes. So I just want to give a little bit of clearance away from all the gubbins that fall down. So I've given myself 5 centimeters. And this is a 12-inch speaker. But you also need a little bit extra around the outside, remember, for the screws to go in. But now look down here. This is that bit of wood that segregates the two speakers. See, I'm too tight. I've given myself 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters. I think what I need to do is give myself 3 centimeters there, 3 centimeters there, and that will lengthen this cab slightly. Because I'm going to be I need the dimensions to cut the fucking wood. This is the whole point in this drawing. This, I need dimensions. This is the architecture. This is how all the buildings, all the statues were made on pen and paper. Can you believe that? No laptops, no fucking pencil necks sitting in front of computers. pens and paper, true architecture, guys with rules, circumferences. This is the best way to do it. Why is it the best? Because if you're sitting in front of a computer doing this on some fucking CAD software, you're sitting there, your inspiration goes, man. When you do it when you do this by pen and paper, you know, you as you're doing it, you can do, it's almost like you're drawing an artwork. Now, you can't do that on the computer. You go line there, yeah. How bold do I want the line? When you do it like this, I mean, you can see I've drawn in the little fucking, how wide the wood is. How wide the wood is, the little curls on the, and there's that suspect area there. We need to lengthen this by another centimetre. But I'm happy with that at the minute. These are the dimensions are all to scale. Every millimetre is a centimetre. You can see there 0.5 millimetres. Well, 0.6. That's our 6 centimetres for our chassis. These speakers are 12-inch, which add up to 30 centimetres. 30 centimetres. 30 centimetres. I can actually put my rule on here and find out the total length of the cabinet, which is 85 centimetres. Now, here's another funny one. When I drawn this out last night, my chassis is only 50 centimetres wide. So this is my chassis. I'm having to add on an extra 5 centimetres each side. Now, why am I doing that? Do you know what? I don't even know why I'm doing it. Why am I adding on 5 centimetres? My thought was 50 centimetres wide. It was too thin. If you can picture half a metre, it was too thin. I thought I need to widen it a bit. But then lo and behold, last night, see, 20 inches wide. 20 inches wide works out at, would you believe, 51 centimetres. Can you believe it? So maybe, so this is 51 centimetres. My chassis is 50 centimetres. So why don't we just slim this down right away? Easily done, yeah. We don't need it that wide. We can actually butt up to the side of the chassis. But I actually do need to give myself a little bit of space. But anyway, we'll put that in for now. I'll be doing what I'm gonna do is actual videos. When I actually build this, I won't be doing it live. I'll be doing I'm gonna do a video series, and it's gonna be Young Frankenstein. So I'm gonna play the part of who was the guy who played it? Oh fucking hell, Gene. Luke Serve took a load off that already. That looks even better. Thinner. So we've thinned it in now. But this was my first one here was this. Well, it started out with that, didn't it? Then I moved on to this. You can see I don't know what was going on in my head when I said I wanted 5 cents. But you can see on this, these pieces of wood hold the chassis. You slide the chassis over just the little nibs of these wood. That's how you slide your chassis in and out. You got your 5 centimeters speaker. I had a little bit of a do here. You can see me trying to work it out here. This center part. I think we've worked that out. And I've actually given myself a little bit more room on the bottom. And my bottom bit of wood is I've got thicker pine upstairs. So the bottom piece and the top piece actually will be quite thick pine. Maybe 3/4 inch pine. I put handles on it here, but I don't know whether we're going to go that route. So I started that and then it turned into this. And to be honest, but what I want to do next is I want to do the sideways view. Before I do it on this piece of paper, I'm going to do it quite rough on this piece of paper. So that's 3 centimeters there, on an angle. There's our top piece of wood. Now, here's the question. Well, it's not a question, is it? The top is going to be 10 inches deep. Actually, how wide's my cabinet? The cabinet is 17.5 centimeters. So my cabinet is 7 inches. Damn, that's... I'll have to just go and measure that again. 20 centimeters, you don't. It's 8 inches. That's 17, but the bottom is 20. Top 17, bottom's 20. So it's 20, this is the chassis. Bottom's 20, top 17. So 20, 8 inches. Yeah, I think we can have an extra 2 inches off the back. So as you can see, our cabinet's going to be set back, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, but that's how it's going to be, unfortunately. Then, depth. I should have wrote the depth down, shouldn't I? What a fucking idiot. 85 centimeters the depth. This is just very rough, this one. And then the bottom is going to be 20 inches. So, say 10 inch there. Um, 85 centimeters down there. I'm confusing everyone here with inches, aren't I? 26 centimeters. That will be sitting, remember, on that wood. I'll put it up to there. Now the bottom, what are we going for? 20. 10 inches and millimeters. Fucking nightmare, isn't it? 51 centimeters down the bottom. This is just very rough, this, just to get a fucking idea, like. .51 centimeters. This needs to be flat. This needs to be on an angle. Just give me a... So this needs to be flat, and then this needs to be on an angle. Yeah, it's a bit... You've gone a bit wild there, man. The angle that... trying to work out this angle here. How much of an angle do I want here? Well, the angle goes off how much the bottom is there, doesn't it? Shit. That'll be the angle there, won't it? Not much of an angle on that, like. That's 10 centimeters down. That's why that isn't. Because it pop out here, that's sort of. There's actually not much of a. There's not much of a bend there, is there, because of that? Ah, it's hardly any. Begs the question, do you want to do a fucking. The reason that isn't so slanted is because of this slant here. Because you can imagine if it was there, it'd be more slanted. But our chassis is slanted. I think we go for this and have a look at it. So let's go and draw it over here, sideways angle. Let me just think about this a minute. Why am I working in here? Doesn't seem right. Alright. What are we going for? 85 centimeters. Just keep going, Pete. Don't worry about it. Keep going, lad. Gotta keep pushing on. Don't fuck around. But yeah. 51 centimeters at the bottom. And about 20-inch. 51 centimeters more. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Tell you what, we need a halfway point there. Let's give myself a halfway point, a waypoint. $85, $40, 2.5. Give myself a halfway point. Let's not make any mistakes. Let's just have a look at this. Yeah, we're on here. We're on. Keep going. This doesn't seem right in my eyes. That doesn't seem right at all. The fucking chassis. Let me go and measure that chassis again. I think I've not made a bad measurement here. 20 and 17. That looks crazy. I think I've made a mistake. I'm trying to draw it somewhat to scale, you know. Yeah, that's right, though. See, now that looks a bit freaky, doesn't it? Because we've got a 50 down here. Does that need to be what? 12 inches? You dope. It's 31 centimeters. Oh! Mistakes. 12 inches. I've been looking at the wrong one. My mistake. And that's 10 inches. 10 inch. That's 20. What's that? 10 inches. It's 26. So that's right. Yeah, I made a mistake there. That's 12 and 3/4 inch. So say 33. You dope. I thought that looked a bit weird. There's hardly any slant on it. I think the bottom then, I think we have to go we have to figure this slant out, man. There has to be some sort of slant. Now the slant is gonna the slant we choose here is actually gonna give us our bottom. So usually these what people use is this measurement down here, 12 inches. But you can see when we use a 12 inch, it hardly gives us any slant. Bear with me, I think I've done something wrong here. Pretty sure I've done something wrong. 25, that is there. So we come in, I'd rather come in shorter at the top. So we come in shorter at the top. We come in shorter at the top. That gives us more throw at the bottom. Because we've got a little void here. So I'd rather come in at the top, pushing out the bottom slant here. Try again. So we do need a bit of a slant, but we need to keep this quite compact at the bottom. roughly about there, I'd say. If we get ourselves a slant to about, I'd say about there, man. I don't want that much of a slant, but I want some sort of slant. See, there's not enough slant on that. Or is there? I think that'd look cool. Not too much slant. This one here. That was a mistake. Complete mistake. What we now have is this slant here. We can give ourselves, the more slant we give us, you see, the more this opens up at the bottom. And I really don't want to be having a huge bottom. Do I? Can I open that up a little bit more? $12 3/4 is 33. I think we can give ourselves. I'll tell you what we'll do. We round it up to 35, and that's as much as you're gonna get. 30. That is the maximum. 35 is max. We do want to keep some kind of comp. See now, 35 looks a bit too much. I think we keep it at 33. That's a 33 there. 35. I think that one's out the question, that one. Not enough slants on it. I think a 33. You can see the more slants I give myself, the more the bottom opens up. You've got to remember there's a speaker sitting in here. There's going to be a speaker going to about there. There's going to be a speaker here. Speaker here. So the more slant I give myself, the more void here. I really want to try and keep it quite compact and tight. You can see I've got a void at the top here of my chassis. So how that will look? Well, there'll be a piece of wood holding the chassis. Now you've got to remember you're gonna have your cables sticking out the back here. But it's not a problem, because if you look at the Soldano, they also had the same issue. They had to use. They have a void at the back of theirs. See theirs, they've got a void. So their chassis was too thin, like mine. You see the Soldano, they've gone full open back, but you can see they opened the bottom up just a slight bit there, just to let some of that bass out. Isn't that fascinating? Soldano actually built vertical 212. Fuckers. I thought it was going to be the first. I'm just going to make a cup of coffee, guys. So what we've got is we've got this bit here. We're going to go off the 33. We're going to have basically an ever so slight tilt. What we're not going to have is a huge tilt. We're just going to have a very slight tilt. I think I can live with that. Yeah. I'm going to put the kettle on and have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee. The preliminaries to building a cab. starts out with that. The idea, the imagination, the thought gradually builds to the basic plans, and then comes into fruition. We're actually getting dimensions here now. I should start writing these dimensions down, to be honest. 25 and a half, wasn't it? 25 and a half, 25.5 centimeters. I think we had an 85 there, didn't we? At the bottom is the interesting bit, because I think we went for a 33, didn't we? And then that gives us a... That's basically all you need on that, really. That's a sideways view. There's our front. Ooh. It's quite good, that, though, isn't it? I'm impressed with that. See the front and then the side. See, that's a bit of a pain in the ass, because you're thinking it's that now, aren't you? It's not. It's that. Cover that up. Forget that. Didn't exist. That doesn't exist. That's actually the tilt. Very subtle. But you can see how top heavy this thing's gonna be. You know, you got your speaker in here now. Big Alnico. Yeah, you got your speaker in here. You got the casters. Cast me no shadow. Preliminaries. I'm just going to make a cup of coffee. What will I do next? I suppose we could draw the back. Back won't take long. And then I'm going to do a whole series. Young Frankenstein builds a cab. It'll be me, Von Riley Steen, and his assistant Igor will build a cabinet. I'm going to do a proper videos of me cutting the wood, Igor getting in my way. It's basically like me building, you know, Frankenstein. We're just going to do a parody on the Young Frankenstein. Igor, you buffoon. I will not tolerate your incompetence today. Your foolishness, Igor. Back in your cellar. You inept, clumsy man you are, Igor. Right, so I'm going to make a cup of coffee. Then we're going to crack onto the back of the cab. 1 minute. It's the perfect time to do this because I've got to wait in for the postman. And he should be here. I've just had an email. Between. Your parcel is due to be delivered between 11 a.m. and 4:50. Postman usually turns up about 11:30 a.m. So if I can do a bit of this while I wait, great news. Because I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? So let's crack on. Let's get the back done now, eh? Let's do Control and F on that. Boom. So let's do the back while we're here. This is just a temporary as well. We're gonna have to redraw this out again to scale. I haven't really got any paper to do the back on. As they say, every good idea is built on the back of an envelope. I can't do it on that, can I? Because I need the front of it. Hey, up, is that the postman? Come on, postman. Hope I'm not waiting until 4:30. So the back's easy enough, isn't it? We have overall width. What did we say we're going to go for again? 10 inches. Oh, I forgot already. I really should start writing this down. 20 inches, which equates to 50, obviously. 51. So 51. I'm pretty confident I can do this without having to. You know what? Let's just go for it. This is scrap anyway now. We're going to have to redraw this anyway. So we're going to have to do the back. $51. But all the great architecture we have, this is how it all would have been designed, pen and paper. Not on computers, pencil pushers on computers, man. I can't do it unless I've got the applications. Get a pen and paper, man. A pen and paper. Yes, best way to do anything. Your brain's thinking all the time when you use pen and paper. You can sculpt things better with pen and paper. Your imagination, the flow of the pen. Pen is an extension of what's going on in your head. There you go. All the great statues, all the great architecture, all pen and paper. No fucking around with fucking computers. Scrap bits of pens and paper. Hang on a minute, someone. Oh, that's not the postman knocking on the wrong door. Is that Peter Riley? I'm just waiting for it. Must be in the van. I want. It is the postman, but it's not for me. Fucking hell, no, she's knocking on the door. I'm not taking that in, man. Fucking. back. Well, the thin layer at the top there. Chassis then goes in the back. Now, do we want to? There's our chassis with our effects loop and all that, you know. IC socket. All your gubbins. I can actually leave a little gap here because remember this is the back. Speaker's going to be about there, isn't it? So, can we leave a little gap? Because how are we going to do at the back? We can make a little oval at the back here, you see. There's a few things we can do here. The back. The imagination's running wild right now. We can do something very ornate. See the bottom bit here. This will be totally encased. The bottom is encased. Now, might as well draw our wood in. So our wood is going to go through the back, isn't it? Do we do a circle? Do we do an oval? Do we just drop it? I think we drop it down about, what do you reckon we drop it down by a centimetre? Two centimetres. 2 centimetres seems to be the... So we'll have a little air gap there, I think. What does Soldano do? At the back of there. Ho ho ho, would you believe? For fuck's sake, webcam. Look what Soldano do. You leave a little air gap. Beautiful. That's about 3 centimetres though. Should we give it 3 centimetres or should we just give it the old 2? I'll tell you what, Will. 2 centimetres seems to be... You know what, we're going to give it 3 centimetres. Give that a 3 centimetres. 3 centimetre pocket of air there. That our lead can fall down. Speaker lead. Now, imagination's running wild here. I should say as well, this is going to be cloth covered. In some sort of patterned cloth. I want to do sort of a... Let's go and get some ideas. Don't really show you the back, do they? What does he do? See, he gives it a nice little oval shape. He gives some sort of shape like that. I think we just go with a standard oval, you know. Yeah, I think we just go with an oval shape. So if we go 50-50 between the two middles there. Give me a centre to there, to there. I think we just go over sort of an oval. I would like to know, have you seen the rain running round back again? What you'll have then is you'll be able to see the back of the Alnico, but it'll be pointing down slightly, won't it, off the off our angle. Cool. Slightly getting there all the time. I can redraw this now properly with my measurements. You can see what we've got there now. Yeah, there's the postman. Oh, glad he turned up early. Let's have a little look what he's given us here then, eh? The postman has been. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down once again? New running trainers. Pegasus 38. As you know, I'm a runner. I do a lot of running. I ran 5k yesterday, man. Running every day nearly. And I tell you what, right now, I am running, trying to run 2 times a day at the minute. Because summer's coming up and I want to just get myself lean. The problem I had with these is the width of the toe area here, but the latest Pegasus, Nike have just released the Pegasus 42s. Let's go and take a look at the Pegasus 42. I was going to buy these, they've just come out. Well, they're coming out this month. You want to see fucking a trainer? Look at these fuckers. $41 audio, 42. I thought the 42s. Oh, I'm sure they're the 42s, aren't they? Oh, look at these fuckers. Are they out? They're out. The colours are shit, though. Definitely take. They got a black. They've got a black. These are the latest Pegasus from Nike. Just come out this literally a couple of days ago. You can see on the Pegasus, the forums say the Pegasus 39s were the best Pegasuses. My last Nikes were the Kaigers. Look at that for the fucking... Never had the Pegasus before. I was tempted to 129. I thought they'd be about 160. And they've got them in an 8.5 as well. See, I couldn't wear something like that. Or that. Or that. That's more female. Or that. I'd wear them. Or them. They'd be the ones I'd buy. See, these are the 38s. These are dead cheap now because these have come out. All the other Pegasuses have dropped in price. Yeah, these were only 55 quid. Back in the day, these would have been 120. I can't believe they're 130 quid, man. They should be like 160. Brand new, the Pegasus 42s. Let's get a video on them. Can't wait to go running in these. Might go. I'm not going running today. I was out running yesterday. The thing with me is I go out running too much and I injure myself.
This is the new Nike Pegasus 42, and in this video we're going to be answering the important question that is, was this dead on arrival? Yes, people, in this video I'm going to be giving you a very honest assessment of the Pegasus 42, the new.
Nah, these are Nike have upped the game with the 42s. 41s and the 40s, they're bad. Nike's just, this is probably the best Pegasus they've brought out this.
Wrapping it up at the end, I'm going to let you know the answer to that question. Was this thing dead on arrival? So the Nike Pegasus running shoe, I have had a very successful sort of history with the shoe. I've run the London Marathon in 2 pairs, I think.
38s with it. These are the best, man. 38s.
Also, while you're looking at the shoe, also check out very long shorts. But yes, I'm somebody who's used the Nike Pegasus through my sort of running career, let's call it, my running journey over the years. And I've been a big fan of the Nike Pegasus for many, many years. I upgraded to like a pair of Nike Pegasus back in the day from those, the 80s or whatever they were that I picked up Sports Direct. When my sort of running took another step, I needed a shoe that would get me through these.
They are the best, Nike, man. They fucking, when you look at all the stats on the running shoes, Nike. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour this stupid tick in black. I don't want to be fucking, I'm going to colour all this in black, so it's just pure black shoe.
And obviously, my journey's continued. I've moved into other shoes and all that sort of stuff, but I've always had a soft spot for the Nike Pegasus. But over the years, since like version 35, 36, Nike have sort of,
Oh, don't say that, man. These are the 38s.
And it's been a real shame to watch it sort of fade into nothingness and to keep coming out with the same old stuff.
See, it just comes out a bit there, which pisses me off.
Was an improvement over previous models, but the problem with last year's model, the 41, for me, was that under the forefoot, it felt like I had nothing there. It felt like I was running on concrete. It was very difficult to do any sort of miles in it, and it became a lifestyle shoe for me. And that's why, as always, I sort of herald the new version with a sort of anticipation that they've done something new and they've transformed the shoe and they brought it in the current lineup versus the other great daily trains that we've got out there at the moment. So let's get into that. Let's talk about what's new here on version 42, shall we? Now, the Nike Pegasus 42 is going to cost you...
I can't wait. I might go running in these today. There's no way I'm not going running today.
It fits true to size. It weighs 311 grams in that men's UK 9.5. We've got a nice new engineered mesh upper on the shoe. Snake heights coming in at 37 down to 27, so that's the traditional 10mm drop in the shoe. The Pegasus 42 still features the React X foam. We've got a new outsole design, still got a bit of waffle rubber on there, but they've sort of uncoupled it almost, and I'll show you that in just a second. Now, the big news on this
It says
shirt is the fact that the
1972
shoe
on the
now
front
features
there.
a full-length curved air zoom unit. Previous model had
Full
two
length air zoom
one
unit.
at the front, one at the back. Now we have a full-length curved air zoom unit. There's actually probably more like a plate, or acting like a plate.
I'm gonna get done here
And
for
that's
copying
the
this
big
guy's
change
video.
to talk about in just a second. But before we do all that, you also can get 15% off your running shoes. So if you're is it improved?
I'll be honest with you, I thought they'd hit the market at 160. Crazy. Ah, not a tick there, no way. Don't put a tick there, man. Don't tell me the black. Oh, no. See what I do with these? I colour all, see all this tick shite? I fucking colour all this in black. You know, I'm in my late 40s. Anyone in the late 40s wearing a pair of Nikes is going through some fucking thinks he's still a kid. These are just for running. And I don't want to be seen in a pair of Nikes, man, at 40 odd years of age. So all this is getting coloured in black, like I did on my last Nikes. Yeah, anyway, can't wait to wear these babies. I'm going to put them on now. Oh, I've got thick socks. I'm going to have to go and put these on. I'm going to have to change my socks, put them on. Thick pair of socks on and just bed them in. I hope the toe box is quite wide on them. Oh, that's a massive put off for me, that tick there. Yeah, I've got more sponge in them than the new ones though. So, come on, let's hope these fit like a glove. True 8.5. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to go out running. There's no way I'm not going out running today with these. 55 quid. Fucking what a snap. Anyway. Moving away from what we're about. There it is, folks. There's the cabinet. No, I hate all the brands. I hate Nike. The thing is, I went looking for. I go running, Lex, every day nearly. I'm a runner. So I went looking for a decent pair of running shoes, and I went, you know, where you start searching the internet. And to be honest, you've got Salomon, Honka, Asics, and all them. And when you look at the prices and the running trainer, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, Nike outdo everybody. And they're virtually the same price. Now there's a website. Check this guy out. I don't know. I forget what it's called now. I think it's this guy actually. Run Repeat. What this guy does is he cuts them in half and everything. So here's the honker. Check what he does here, man. This guy, he fucking look what he does. So he does these tests on all. He has every running shoe. He does mad tests. He does like squeezed in tests, push off tests. He does like measurements, and he gets deep. He cuts the fucking things in half. Look, he cut the trainer in half here. So what he does is he says, here's the honker Cliff 10s. Now, there's his verdict. The pros and the cons, and he does, you know, the prices and what have you. Who should not buy them? You can see, look what he's doing here. He cuts them in half and everything, man. Now, when you watch these guys do this to these trainers, you start to realise that Nike, unfortunately, I don't want to use Nike. Oh, he gets all, he's the fucking, but what he does, what I like, he says, we'll get to it in a minute. Look at him here. You know, this guy's seriously got a problem, hasn't he, with trainers? When you go to this level, you know, you can imagine his wife going, fucking hell, get a different hobby. Oh, fucking hell, I wish you'd go. I'll get to it in a minute. Yeah, look what he does here. He's got this machine. Shows you the traction at the bottom. Look at that. So that's him stepping on this machine for grip. He's a fucking weirdo. And here's his results here, you know. But if you want to really get to the crux, breathe it. Look at him here, he's putting steam through. Look at that. He's putting steam through them to see the breathability. Look at that, man. Oh, he's fucking off his head. Look at that. He's seriously... What's he doing here? He's got a light. He's got a torch. He's fucking off his head. Now he's zooming in here. Look what he's up to here, man. He's zooming in on the fabric. And he's found a little defect here. Look at him. Oh. Look at that. Afterwards, to examine the jacquard mesh in detail, we placed it under a microscope. What we discovered was a cleanly engineered, ultra-durable design. However, it's clear the ventilation holes could be more. You can picture the designers of this Hoka shoe, you know, reading his review. That's the big thing with me. See this? Right. Most of these running shoes, yeah, they're not flat. They're fucking, they have like a swoop, you know, like a concave. Right, we'll get to it at the bottom here. Let's go and get to it. This is just one pair of shoe, by the way. Look at him here with a Dremel drill. Look at that. He's took a Dremel to the fabric, man. He wants to know how long it'll last. Yeah, check this out. These are my Asics. Look at that. I've been running in these for about a year and a half. You see that? They're fucked. So, and the weird thing is the other side as well. Look at that. I've been only a year old. These, man. My cousin bought me these. He said my cousin's a runner. And he said I found a great shoe, and these they're cheap. He sent me these anyway. Fucking amazing to run in, man. And they're only like £40. cheap. But didn't last very long, you know. It only lasted me a year. What's he up to here, man? He fucking hell, man. At some point, we will get to what I'm saying here at the bottom. Come on, fucking hell. What's he up to there? What he does is he says he compares it. That's right. So he compares them to other ones, you know. And if you look, you see there Nike. So you can see 88, the Hoka. The Nike were 91. So then you go, all right, well, the Nike are better than them. So then you click on the Nike, you see. And then you're down a fucking avenue now, man. Then you're in the Nike. And you think the Nike wins. And then you think the Vermo Plus, you click on that. And by the end of all this clicking, you'd end up going, you know, you'd end up at, I'd like to have a pair of Saucony, but the price of them, man. This is the thing, Nike have got the marketplace cornered, man. I would love to buy them, but unfortunately, the price, you can see he only gives them an 81. There's the Asics and that. Adidas. You know what I mean? I don't want to buy Nike. But unfortunately, they are the best. And as I say, what I do is I get a black marker pen and I fucking cover that Nike logo over. So no one knows the Nike. They just look like a black shoe. Yeah, so what do you reckon on that, Lex? What's your input on that? This is the back. I've got a hole now in the back for the Alnico Blue. But that'll be totally blocked off. You'll have screws. This will be able to take this off, obviously, you know what I mean. That bottom bit will be a total bass drum. Top one, Alnico Blue. I mean, what you could do down there is put some sort of darker speaker in there to get that bass, and you got your nice cleans from your Alnico Blue here. You got this. We have this nice little. It's just a subtle, very not like the ones you see, which are very. It's very subtle, but you can see you've got the subtleness here. Because remember, our control knobs will be very inviting for somebody, you know, to touch and turn there. And then very subtle angle to a straight. This would be the bass part down here. That's just got a subtleness to it. Not like that. Just like that. You know what I mean? Pushing that air that way. You got that pushing the air across the bottom. I think and it's gonna, yeah, check this out. I don't know whether I'll be able to show you this. Give me a minute. I'll tell you what, it'd be a lot easier if I just typed it into Google, I think. Cloth covered speaker cab. See the way these guys are doing this? This is cloth, man. So what I'm going to do, now it won't be this type of fabric. This is a Navarro, an Indian type of fabric. But basically, you cover it in, you buy a cloth, a nice. See if we can get some more demonstrations. That's quite nice, isn't it? That's beautiful, that, the way he's done that. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go over and have a look at that. Oh, this is Milkman sound, yeah. He's started to do this cloth covered cabinet. Oh, ideas are flowing now, aren't they? See, he cover them in, but it's very difficult to do. You need, because it's cloth, the glue is the most vital importance, because you don't want the glue seeping through the cloth. Now this type of, oh, I'm down an avenue now. Oh, oh, look at that one. Yeah. Oh, man alive. So you go down these avenues, oh, look at that. See that? See, this is another thing I really need to get to on this is, so it's going to be cloth covered. The pattern of the cloth is yet to be determined. The other thing is, I'm thinking of asking Modulus to make me a faceplate, because you've seen the faceplate I done, it was a disaster. The stickers didn't stick. I like the colour purple, but once we get our cloth pattern, now this is later down the line, I'm going to actually I need to build this fucking thing first. Now what I could do as well is I could put pinstripes in it with piping pinstripes. My other thought, which I'll get a scrap piece of paper for, was to, if you can imagine, let's do a sideways view of the cabinet here. So this will be covered in some sort of, dramatic looking cloth. We've got that slight, just ever so slight there, haven't we? This will be covered in cloth. It'll be all radiused. I'm thinking of radius in it, so you get the nice curves with the use one of these, get the curves on it. I've got these casters, might not use them, but so this is going to be cloth covered. Now I don't know the cloth. I haven't even looked at the cloth. I'll be building this first, then at some points I'll be looking at some sort of patterned cloth, maybe some sort of weird diamond, something like that. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, sort of. I don't know, you know what I mean? You can picture it, can't you, Now, the front bit here, now the grill cloth, this is the thing now. Now, there's a guy who makes grill cloth. I don't know whether I can get to him. I'll just type it in. probably better putting guitar. I've got grill cloth upstairs. I've got Tolex upstairs. But the grill cloth is another whole new avenue. We don't have to use the basic grill cloth, because what I'm thinking of doing, right, check this, is I'm thinking about doing, now you've got to remember your speakers in there, so then that needs to be left. But what I was thinking of doing is doing some, what would you call it? Like a Russian, you know, like a Dusseldorf guitar, you know, that monocular sort of Russian architecture. That sort of very square. Probably doesn't sound too, I'm probably not describing this very well. You know, like Russian architecture. It's very, something like that, and out of wood. This is just an idea about. So you'd have some, this would be wood, and I'd carve it. Be quite thin. I don't know, man. You could even do some sort of, you know, like a French fleuret, French fleurisse. Even, you know, some sort of weird pattern, pretty pattern. What I'd have to do is, yeah, let me show you something. Damn webcam won't square down, man. Just annoying. There we go. So you got your grill cloth, but check something like speaker. You know, like an old radiogram. Just type radiogram. You know, see this? This is what I'm thinking. See this beautiful sort of, you can get something going like that around the speaker. You know, just I could carve this, you see. Something like that. Now the speaker would be blank, or would it be blank? Yeah, it would be blank, because we're going to have grill cloth there. So there will be grill cloth. Now the grill cloth will have to represent, it's all dependent on the cotton, the pattern of the cotton. Now this is all further down the line, but obviously I'm thinking about all this already. So the cotton pattern will depict the grill cloth and probably will depict the pattern. Now you've got to remember it's a high gain amplifier, so it has to be some sort of, it has to represent some sort of let's just get the webcam down again. We do need to represent rock and roll, no, 80s rock. So if I type in I don't know, I don't think Google can understand all that, can it? I don't really want it to look doomsday like a mess. I want it to look quite bright, more of a bright heavy metal sort of I don't know, I'm probably not typing in the right search terms there. Not hippie-ish either. I don't want it to look hippie-ish. I want it to look kind of monocular 80s. And I'd love to get some sort of monocular design in here, like a Russian architecture, Dusseldorf guitars. And maybe then you could just use a plain grill cloth there. That's further down the line. And I mean, I could even do piping. I could put 2 bits of piping there. See the top, because this is going to be more of a furniture piece. You put it in the corner, don't you? And that's it. It's got to look like a furniture piece. So the top, I could put 2 bits of piping there, and I could actually make the top a black Tolex. You know, so you can put coffee cups on there and make the sides just a little turn there with the cloth. It stops at the piping, and then we could get some sort of tougher Tolex at the top. I don't think I'm going to be using corner. Maybe I'll use corner pieces at the back, but I can't use corner pieces there because of this angle. I'll be able to use corner pieces down here and here. They will. 100% they'll have corner pieces on them. Corner protectors. But the front nibbles here, I can't use corner pieces there due to the angle. They don't make them in that sort of angle. Crazy. This is how it all comes about, guys. All in my crazy mind. Starts out with this, goes to this, then it ends up at this, and before you know it, you end up with fucking something like that. Oh, fucking hell, I think I need to see a psychiatrist. Fucking nutter. So anyway, guys, that's the first stage. What I'll be doing is I'll be doing a series, proper videos, edited, the Young Frankenstein and Igor build a cabinet. How will that go about? Because Igor's incompetent. Remember that. And I Riley von Rileystein is adamant on building this cabinet. And if Igor gets in my way, I will beat him with my ruler. Igor, back in your cellar. You had me up all night playing that violin, Igor. You do realise, Igor, I can fix that hump. What hump? Before I leave, let's just should we go and watch a little bit of Young Frankenstein? It was the famous part in Young. Oh no, what's happened there, man? It's so frustrating, this, you know. Fucking webcam never wants to fall down. It's just a pain in the arse. A real fucking big pain in the arse. Let's go and watch Igor. I'll end on this, guys. Then might go for a run. Come on, YouTube. The funniest bit in Young Frankenstein is where he says, "That brain you brought me. That was," goes, "promise you won't get angry. I promise I will not."
May I speak to you for a moment? Of course. Sit down. Thank you.
I'm going to have to pause it, otherwise I'll get a copyright. Yeah, you have to do commentary. Commentary.
No, up here.
Now, that brain you brought me.
Now, that brain that you gave me, was it half
then would you mind telling me exactly whose brain you did bring me?
Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
You promise you won't get angry.
And you won't be angry? I will not be angry. Abby, someone. Abby, someone.
Look, he's dying to laugh here, look.
Abby, who?
Watch him now.
Abby Normal. Abby Normal. I'm almost sure that was the name. A 7.5-foot long, 54-inch wide.
Gorilla! Commentary. Please don't copyright strike me, YouTube. Please don't copyright strike me. I'm only playing a clip. So, young Von Rileystein and Igor. Now, what will Igor get up to? I'm going to be dressing up as Igor. And he's going to be getting right under my fucking feet as I build this cabinet. I will be sawing wood and Igor's head will be popping up. And I'll go, Igor, get out of here! I'll be going to bed. I'll wake up and Igor's basically going to be like, remember the Pink Panther? K2. Every time the Pink Panther came hurt, K2 would jump on him. Well, Igor's going to be like that. I'm going to dress up as Igor with that black. And we're going to do some skits as I build this. Should be funny, right? I'm going to do loads of little skits. And I think the end scene, I've already got it in my mind what I'm going to do. It's going to be very sad, the end scene. I'm going to say, Igor, those screws you brought me for the cabinet, they were stainless steel screws from the hardware store. You promise you I will not get angry with you. No. Igor. Then exactly what screws did you bring me? Abnormal ones. You mean to tell me I've put abnormal screws in my cabinet? You fool, Igor! It's going to be all that. But guys, 11:30, done well there. My trainer's turned up. We got this dialed into a certain... Where are we, man? We've got an idea, a concept. We can now... I've got the wood. The wood is right behind me here. I've got the clamps. I'm all ready to go. Start cutting some wood, baby. Let's start building the cab. Boom! But I'll see you later, guys. Peace!